My name is Francis Lam, and I am so excited to be your MC tonight, mainly because I have no idea why anyone would want me. And I worked at AAFE 15 years ago as a grant writer, and in that role, I got to see so much of the work that AAFE does on the ground. Spending time with home ownership counselors, I saw the looks on clients' faces when they realized that they could finally buy their own home. Parading with community members to celebrate the Lunar New Year, I saw that sense of community that spans cultures and languages. But then I left. And I left to go to culinary school to pursue a passion for food and cooking. And I may or may not have heard a couple of wayward comments about me throwing my career away. Thank you, Suquan. But from there, I found my way into a totally different career, a career in being a writer and a commentator on food. And so when some of my old friends at AAFE called me to say they'd like me to host this event, I was frankly a little mystified. I mean, there have been moments in my career where I've wondered if I've sold out my ideals. If I've traded in working at a place like AAFE to talk about meals on TV or to write stories that entertain people in luxury magazines. But whenever I've questioned that, I've always come back to this thought. It's the thought that the stories that I have loved writing the most, the ones that I think really define my work and maybe in some ways define me as a person, those are stories about invisible people. They're the stories about the people who are behind your food. They're the stories about people who are behind the kitchen door. And what I cherish about writing about these people is that if I can help tell their story to the world, and if I can help diners pause and think that the person who makes this food is a real person just like me, and that they have as rich a human story as anyone else, well, then I feel like that's a political act, right? Like that's where writing about food can become a political act, and that's so weird, but that's what I feel. And when Chris and Isabel and Suquan, all these people at AAFE and I got to talking again, we talked about how the social justice movement is driven, right? It's driven by the people who work as counselors and organizers, but in the long term, for the long run, it also has to be about people who go on and realize the ideals of the movement in different ways, right? In different fields and careers and lives. And I feel like my experience in social justice and my experience working at AAFE has been so important to my work ever since. And so it's exciting. Wow, if I stop talking, you stop talking too. That was the secret all along. Yeah. Nap time. Okay. So anyway, it's exciting. It's exciting and important to note that this is a moment where people like myself can go out into the world and do our work in our way and know that we are standing on the shoulders of those who have fought for our communities, who have fought for immigrant rights, who have fought for our identities as Americans, who have fought for our place in politics, who have fought for our place in society, who have fought for our place in the culture. And tonight we're here to celebrate those people on whose shoulders we stand. We're here to celebrate 40 years of AAFE and the many honorees who led the way even before that day in 1974 when a group of protesters calling themselves Asian Americans for Equal Employment marched on Confucius Plaza. And I'm so humbled to be sharing a stage. Well, that's the line. The line is, I'm so humbled to be sharing a stage with them, but I am obviously standing here by myself, so it's a little bit awkward. I didn't know how I was going to be staged when I wrote it. I'm sorry. But to have those people here, to have those people who have inspired this movement and have driven this movement is so, so humbling. And just as much, we're here to celebrate the people who continue to lead the way today, right? As we've seen over and over recently, there's still so much more work that needs to be done for true equality, for civil rights, for the simple idea of making sure everyone has a fair shot. but as we recognize our agents of change tonight and take stock of where we are, and as we consider the work that they do, I think we'll all be excited for what's to come. So thank you again for being here tonight, for being here to help us celebrate, to remember, and to look ahead. So I was actually handed two pieces of important last-minute business, like just before I came on stage. And one of them, both of them actually, are for you. So on your table, AAFE board member Suki Terada-Ports has arranged these gorgeous flower arrangements. Where's Suki? Where'd my girl Suki at? She's also wearing this like amazing orange cape, which is like, she's like this AAFE superhero tonight. So these, oh, hey Suki, what's up? So the flowers are by Suki, but they can be yours for the very low price of having an orange ribbon on your dessert spoon. So if you look at your dessert spoon and you have an orange ribbon on it, you get to take the flowers home with you. Don't take them right now. It's a really bad look if you take them right now. At least leave them on the table for the rest of the night. But take them after. Drink the water, it's delicious. Now, there's another one. I hope you all saw the beautiful lanterns as you came in and got here. I didn't see the lanterns. I'm assuming they're beautiful. And if you open your program to page 1 of the program, which you'll also know is a welcome letter, so this is really a ploy to get you to read the opening letter, and you see a red dot, that means one of those beautiful lanterns will be waiting for you on your way home out of the door tonight. Where if you are not lucky, it will be blown into the ether by the 40-mile-an-hour winds that are like whipping around the building right now. All right. Yeah. Flowers and lanterns. Crazed wind. And with that, just one more moment. I only have 22 words left. Just 22 words left. Thank you. I now pronounce you man and wife. And to begin that, I would love to introduce to you two of AAFE leaders, Board President Wendy Takahisa and Executive Director Chris Coy.
All right, Francis.
Good evening. I'm Wendy Takahisa, the president of the Board of Directors of Asian Americans for Equality, and I'd like to clear up one mystery first. In addition to thanking you for your years of service and the wonderful fame you brought, the real reason we invited you, Francis, was for the red pants.
I still remember when Francis first came to work for AAFE, he actually has fingernail painted. So then that was like something innovative for us, you know. So then, and then style, and then that's also one of the reasons that he was able to stay around for a long time with AAFE.
So we're here tonight to celebrate 40 years. Can we take a moment and raise a glass to 40 years of great successes?
All right.
You know, we spent a lot of time saying that the struggle isn't over yet, and we all know that. But at the same time, I think it's appropriate tonight to take a couple of minutes to really reflect on some of our successes, because we have come a very, very long way. Starting out 40 years ago, when Asian Americans for Equal Employment led the biggest civil rights demonstration, Confucius Plaza, in 1974, and then subsequently the protests against police brutality in 1975. When we started the lawsuit, AAFE versus Koch, which started the first statewide inclusionary housing policy in New York City. We did the first low-income housing tax credit building in New York City And since then, we financed 800 units of housing, leveraging $100 million of affordable housing capital. Those of you who don't know me, I'm a bit of a history geek, so I got a few more statistics for you. The first homeownership CDFI serving Asian American immigrants, a small business CDFI renaissance, $300 million in mortgage loans, $33 million as small business loans, 6,000 small business entrepreneurs counseled. Those are some huge numbers. But we also work collaboratively, which I think is the other great success, or one of the great secrets of AAFE's success. So we were part of the co-founding of National Capacity, and I know we have some capacity folks here in the audience, yes?
All right, Lisa.
The National Coalition for Asian Pacific Community Development. We were the first CDFI to be admitted to the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York. We helped launch Chaya to serve the South Asian community of New York City, and I know we've got Chaya in the house. And we keep going. I think one of the other amazing things that AAFE has done is that in times of crisis, people know that they can turn to AAFE. And whether it's a fire in a specific building where AAFE goes and fights for the right of the tenants, or in big citywide issues, such as after September 11th, when AAFE helped launch the recovery of Lower Manhattan through the Rebuild Chinatown initiative and gave out over $250 million as part of the Lower Manhattan Development Corporation residential program. And I think that that was also really astounding for a number of reasons. It was something we always knew within AAFE, but that September 11th really brought to the forefront. That was not a program to help the Asian American community. It was really to help all of Lower Manhattan, including Chinatown, but the broader Lower Manhattan community. And it was really a way of proving that we are the Asian Americans for equality. Sorry, I can't speak anymore. Working broadly across all communities. And more recently, in our efforts to help the city recover from Sandy, we've worked in all 5 boroughs in Coney Island, in the Rockaways, to help people who needed help. And so I just think AAFE has been a tremendous part of the fabric of New York City for 40 years, and who knows what the future will bring. And now, it's my great honor to once again introduce Chris Coy, who has led the organization to so many of our successes.
Thank you, Wendy. I mean, we couldn't do it without every one of you here in the room, but then also all our honorees, especially the 40 honorees, the agent of change. We really, work together to make it happen. And without you, we can't do it, without you. And that's why we're here today, to celebrate together. And, but also, I really want to also recognize that for us to be able to do our work, we really have to be able to have support, financial support from the private sectors and then as well as the government sectors. And that's why I really want to, first to recognize our key sponsors, and then dinner chairs and the host committee. And then I know every one of you has a, the program that lists all of you. But then I just want to, focus on a few, especially I want to recognize and thank Citi, for their support. Also, I want to really recognize New York Community Bank, and then also Valley National Bank for their key support. But but I do want to do a special recognition, to Robert Wang, who's actually the COO of New York Community Bank, because as I remember still when we did this event 10 years ago, when we did our 30th anniversary, he was actually one of our 4 honorees at the time. And so I want to bring him up and then just to receive a special recognition, because his support actually made it possible for us to be here. But then also, we actually made a special production of a book that captures the 40-year history of the organization. And I was told that finally, finally, AAFE has a book, right? So I just want him to come up and receive that. But then, three of these organizations really represent the private sector. But then I think that also AAFE's success has really been able to also bring the government sectors and our elected officials in the fight, in the cause of our work. And I know we have actually 3 individuals who came all the way to represent the mayor, but then also we have Toby Stavinsky, our senator, from Flushing, who personally actually drove 2 hours to come, to Manhattan to wish us well, and then also Peter Koo, our local council member from Flushing. Then you can see, right, Flushing is really becoming one of the main center of the Asian American community, immigrant community, and then for them to cross over to Manhattan is amazing. So that's why I want to bring them up, and then I want to also bring up Tommy Lin, who's actually personally representing the mayor, to come up and give us a proclamation and say something very brief, So, but again, I just want to thank them so much for the effort, and then so Tommy, and then Senator Stavinsky, and then also Council Member Koo.
Good evening, everybody. I will be extremely brief. My name is Tommy Lin from the Mayor's Office Community Affairs Unit. Unfortunately, the mayor could not be here personally himself today. However, he asked me to bring a proclamation, which I will read extremely briefly. It declares that he proclaims as mayor of the city of New York today, November 18th, 2004, as Asian American for Equality Day. All right, thank you.
My name is Toby Stavisky, and I'm proud to represent the Flushing office of AAFE in the State Senate. And I will be even briefer. We are delighted to celebrate the 40th anniversary, and we wish you many, many more years of service to the community. And yes, Chris, it did take 2 hours with the Holland Tunnel traffic. And to get me to drive into Manhattan, that shows my loyalty to AAFE. Thank you.
Thank you. And Peter?
Oh.
And we got also.
Hello, everyone. I'm City Council Member Peter Koo from Queens. You also took me 2 hours to come here. Next time you have to pick a different place.
Maybe the 50th anniversary, we will have it in Queens.
Yeah. So I am here to congratulate AAFE for their 40 years continuous service to our new immigrants, providing affordable housing, also service to the small business owners. So I want to maybe come here to congratulate. It's so cold outside. I still feel cold. Yeah. So we want to congratulate AAFE for their wonderful service. You will continue maybe for another 140 years. Thank you. Good.
Thank you, Peter. And then also, actually, Assemblyman Ron Kim was here earlier personally at the cocktail party, but he couldn't stay. But then I know we have Yulin who's representing Ron up here too. So again, Yulin.
Thank you. So as everything that they said, and I was actually stuck in a car with my boss for 2.5 hours, so it's a lot worse. But I love AAFE. We do amazing things with them. One Flushing, I know John Cho's in the back, and a lot of the things that AAFE does for our community is something that we actually can't replace. It's something that is literally invaluable. So, I wanted to thank Chris, and I wanted to thank a lot of the folks here for the support of AAFE and for them to be able to do the things that they do. So thank you.
Thank you.